Hi, everyone. And also, hello to my family that is watching right now and all of my coworkers that are projecting this in our office. I appreciate you. Um, my name is Jade Broomfield, and before I tell you all about my thesis intervention time in, I'd like to take you back to September 2016, where I met Idris. Idris is a 5-year-old preschooler from Newark, New Jersey. Like most preschoolers, he loves coloring, playing, and classroom activities that involve toys. Unlike most preschoolers, he was suspended 7 times last year, which accumulated into an expulsion this past December. The expulsion left Idris at home and his desk empty for almost 40 days before his mom could find another school for him to attend. And I know, that story may sound insane, but it's true. Nationally, preschoolers get suspended. A deeper issue is that Black male preschoolers are disproportionately suspended in comparison to their classmates of other races. They make up 19% of preschoolers in America, but 48% of preschoolers who get suspended. In addition, these students, similar to Idris, are likely to get suspended again. This led me to ask, what does a future of repeated suspensions look like? Students miss, on average, 1 to 2 days of school when they're suspended. The more suspensions they get, the more days of school they miss. Nationally, students who miss 3 or more days of school are likely to fail their grade level. This is consistent throughout their entire education. Failing a grade level for a high school student creates a higher risk of dropping out. A 2014 study shows that Black male high school dropouts have a 70% chance of going to prison. When you take a deeper look into our prison system, you'll see that Black men make up 13% of the US population, but 40% of our incarcerated population. This is weirdly similar to the suspension data I showed earlier. On a classroom level, multiple suspensions can predefine a student. Imagine being someone who had gotten suspended and knowing that your teachers are talking about you, that your classmates see you getting scolded repeatedly, and that you have no choice but to own up to the label of a bad kid because everyone around you has already determined you are one. Throughout this process, I interviewed adult men who had been suspended throughout their education and had even served prison time. Anthony shared a story with me about a time he had gotten sick, was out of school for days, and his classmates assumed that he had been suspended. He described his discipline record as a permanent face tattoo. After speaking with teachers, principals, and classroom aides, they summed up the cause for suspension as a lack of focus. In their words, students were not only lacking in personal rigor, but also acting as a distraction for their classmates. I considered myself as a 23-year-old girl in New York City, and that I have an arsenal of mindful activities to find focus, from yoga to music to surrounding myself in silence. I asked myself, why haven't we created the same type of mindful opportunities in schools for students who need it? Through research, I found that one school in particular had participated in replacing desk detention with meditation, and in return, they saw a decrease in their school-wide suspension rate. I decided to prototype this idea with 3 4-year-old boys in Newark. Introducing mindfulness to my target audience is unique because this type of programming is commonly implemented in high schools and in middle schools, but not elementary schools. While meditation is great, and the kids that I worked with were like good, were going with it with me. They were like visibly uncomfortable with sitting in silence for long periods of time. So I knew that in building this intervention, I needed to create something that reflected their personalities as much as it was going to help them. While thinking on the type of men my cohort of suspended students were going to grow up to be, my goal for Thesis was to create something that would help them become more self-confident, determined, and leaders in the classrooms. In their words, a confident, determined leader is a superhero. And when combining the idea of being a superhero and being mindful, I noticed that yoga moves look a lot like superhero moves when you put a cape on them. So now we're at my intervention, time in, where the bad kids become the good guys. The program is a space in the school day where a suspended student can redefine himself. It is mind and body focused, addressing the high and low energy needs of these students. Both are proven ways of decreasing stress, increasing self-confidence, and improving behavior among children within this age group. It takes a village to raise a child, and because of this, Time In is a collaborative program. School leaders introduced the program to faculty and parents, embedding it into the school culture. Through a partnership with a local yoga studio, volunteer trainees teach the program for free, and in return receive hours towards their yoga certifications. Teachers monitor a student's growth in the classroom and help determine success. And parents, our gatekeepers, ensure the authenticity of the program because no one knows the student better than they do. The program is currently active in one school with 6 students participating. Over a 2-week prototype, each participant received no detentions, no suspensions, and had perfect attendance to school. Overall, the program has also gotten great feedback from everyone involved, especially the parents. Last month, Idris's mom said, "This makes sense. Even when he makes mistakes, he is still my little hero." It may be a while before we start to see significant growth within the students. This is a lifetime of change we're talking about. But I've thought about how Time In will work in the future. First, I'm very interested in trying it in cities besides Newark, like Camden, that face very similar issues with high school dropout and student performance rates. I also wonder how Time In can change the preschool experience. Think back to when you were 4, and preschool taught you how to share, how to count, and recite the alphabet. I believe that Time In has the opportunity to add an additional layer to this experience: resilience. I think about Idris's future and how he'll carry his cape with him from elementary school to middle school to high school. I think about the type of citizen that he has the opportunity to be and the contributions that he can give to society. All of this in part to having the chance to participate in a program that will invest the time in helping him own his definition and own his capabilities at a young age. Thank you.